I'm Dan. I've traveled all over the United States and halfway around the world making television shows. I have a unique take on history, legends, current events, creepy and spooky happenings, and some personal stories and anecdotes. So stick around because I'm Dan-splaining to ya. On November 13, 1985, the 30,000 residents of Armero, Colombia would finish up their work and school days to retire to their homes for a meal as they did daily. No one was aware that in just a few short hours their lives would be upside down and that 2/3 of them would be dead and buried before the sun rose the following day. The culprit? A sleeping volcano called Nevado del Ruiz. The eruption sent a wave of earth and water rushing to the valley with no warning. Armero was completely covered. Rescue was a near impossible task, so most victims were never even discovered. The corpses that did appear in the following days as the water receded quickly became meals for the scavenging farm animals that had fled to higher ground when the flood hit. So it took us about 11 hours to get from Bogota to Armero, where this town is. And as you can see, it's completely decimated. Nothing's been rebuilt or recovered. You have standing walls and structures that no longer exist. And these are things like shops, stores, grocery stores, homes, little stores, markets, whatnot. We were there with some of the townspeople where they walked through and pointed out some of the businesses, what was there before. And it was very interesting. Got to talk to a lot of survivors, people that had lost limbs and loved ones, and really just heard some really heart-wrenching, harrowing stories about people that went through this. And in the midst of all this, one of the complaints that they had was that this town is very far out of the way, but the government still uses it for cover-ups and corruption. Even during COVID, they took a bunch of medications that were brought into the country and dumped it there. I'll let you hear it from them right now.
Okay, during the pandemic, something very weird happened here. It's like, they said like something weird in the government. They took like a lot of medicines, don't know sure what it is, if it's insulin, or they just spend money, or corruption, or something weird. And there was like a big mountain of these insulin and medicaments. They just throw them.
They just came and dumped it here.
To hide it or something.
See, maybe they corruption things like.
So they don't want people to see it. So
maybe they just said it costed this much, and then they were left, and they
It was already used.
estaban nuevos o usadas.
No, estaba nueva. Yo vi la mayoría.
Oh, new, so they stashed it. It's stashed. Okay.
Or dumped it.
Dumped it. Yeah.
I see. Got it. Got it.
To increase the price or to hide what they had.
Y pues como son
It's
lugares que no
corruption.
visitan casi, entonces
All right,
se
Dave, grab
aprovechan.
some stuff, Eddie.
Let's do it. So, obviously, everything's been destroyed. Nothing's been recovered. Colombia's a beautiful country, so this is a shame. The next scene here, you'll see that the cemetery here in town was completely taken over by the jungle. As people left, were evacuated. The ones that were left were evacuated. Other people in Colombia realized that there was nobody there to protect their loved ones that had passed on. And they practice witchcraft, brujeria, santeria, things like that are very common in this region. So those people came into this area and broke into these above ground tombs and basically stole everything. A lot of them were completely empty. There was bones missing. We would find bones strewn about on the grounds there. There was a couple of tombs that were open that had mummified remains in them, and it was quite a shocking sight. It's not something that we're used to seeing here in the first world. So to see something like this, it was definitely a big shock. You're stepping on human remains and bones and stuff all over the place. And yeah, Colombia in general, beautiful country. I've gotten to go there twice for work, for filming. Post-COVID, it's been a very popular place to film, so there's lots of shows that were going there. I know Naked Afraid did like 60% of their last season was all in Colombia, in a different part that was much hotter and way worse from the stories that I hear. Yeah, one of the things that we're filming on the last day, we were trying to recreate the scene. One of the last photos from the opening scene there was of a little girl that was stuck in the mud there. Her name was Omaira Sanchez, and she ended up dying and was kind of the face of the tragedy for Colombia. She was all over the newspapers and everything else, and they really kind of zeroed in on her story specifically. She ended up dying there in the mud. They were unable to pull her out. And so we got hit by a massive thunderstorm that put us out, and we're unable to finish the scene. So like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.